welcome Daktari.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity to guide us today in learning about fun. As you've heard, we will have a panel discussion. You can expect a few disappointments because I'm not a communication person, so I will just do the way it comes, the interview. But what is important is the content. So before we go far, before even I introduce myself, before I bring the slides there, still in those groups, just remembered something. I don't know whether it will make sense here. You don't come from where I come from. But one of the things that I remember, now that you have just been talking about parenting and so on, most times, everywhere I go, sometimes I remember things about my parents. My grandmother was very good at telling stories. So I'll teach you a very small, it's not even a song, it's a game. So she used to tell us, I think it was a way of teaching, not just children, but also adults, how important it is to take care of children. So there's this, the way you are sitting, you'll do something like this. Your hands, you'll join your hands like this. All of you, the way you are until it goes. I don't know whether I'm communicating. Yes. Yes, join and all of you until it goes up. And yes, like Mato's group, yes, like that. Well, the idea is, yes, yeah, good, like this. And don't leave it. And don't pinch someone, but you can try to pinch. Good, like that. So, my grandmother used to sing these, I will sing because you don't understand the language, but if you understand it, you can sing with me. She used to sing, Ndege yaja kusuma, ima mwana, na mwana yaja kusuma, ima Ndege, Ndege waba, ukarianga gu. Then, good. Thank you. You can move and sit properly as my panelists should just be on standby. I hope we have our chairs here, so they will be helping me. I hope you enjoyed it. We used to enjoy that a lot, and it used to say that there's someone called Ndege who went to, because that time there was a lot of hunger and the likes. So this is a parent who went to look for food somewhere. Then when he got there, he got the food. And when a parent gets food, he should or she should bring it home and feed the children. But this one, Ndege went, got the food, came home, but ate alone, and the children were there. So it was teaching that if you don't, it's called tit for tat, or what? If you don't do, or like in the Bible they say, yeah, the way you treat others, you treat the way you would expect them to treat you. Yeah, so this one goes, gets food. Of course, it was, or it should be his responsibility. But when he comes home, he eats alone and leaves the children. So the children did the same. When the children went to look for the food they got, they came home, again they ate alone, or themselves. What happened at the end? Things went, fell apart. Yeah, so no one benefited because you see, it brought problems between the parent and the child. I will center so much on, well, I have so many verses because we don't have much time, and I don't want to keep you too long because we are going to have the panel. There are some verses that you'll be seeing in, I hope you'll be able to project it there. Oh, it's there. Okay. Yeah, so I will start. Just do a quick introduction of what we are going to do, and then we will listen to the panel. And I'll tell you the next step. What next? Yeah, so I'll be talking about positive parenting. Positive parenting. But not just positive parenting, but positive parenting behavior. Yeah, it's coming up. So I can be talking about myself as we wait for it to come up. Yeah, so I know many of you know me. I usually teach Quest teacher. I can teach all groups, but mostly I concentrate between 9 and 10 there, but I can teach all groups. Yeah, so my area, or what I like most, is to talk about children. But I can also talk about parents, but my focus, you might find, it is going so much on the side of children, but you cannot talk about children without talking about parents. So I'm Dr. Wilkins, Ndege Muhingi. I work at JKUAT, Department of Rehabilitative Sciences, School of Medicine, College of Health Sciences. That's where I coordinate medical. Work is just to teach. At other times, I also do trainings on child guarding protection. So the things I'm going to talk about, as much as I'm giving it a biblical perspective, it is part of my game, part of where I draw a lot of excitement, emotions, and everything. So it's an area that I like a lot. Yeah, so as we go through these, or before even we go through this, I'll talk about a few things so that you see the seriousness of what we are talking about. So before I go far, again, I think, let me not assume. I am married. God has blessed us with 3 children. I'm married to a beautiful wife who's not here. She also teaches. I'm the one who introduced her teaching in Quest. So she's not here, but is Violet Simiu. The father's name. She likes using that word name a lot. Yeah, so I hope it's not bad. Yes. So I'm waiting for this thing to come up. You know, I'm a teacher, so I like teaching. I teach, I talk as you see what I'm talking about. But if it doesn't work, we can just proceed. So I said I'm going to talk about positive parenting behavior. How do you behave as a parent? And I said before I get into this, I will maybe talk about a few scenarios that maybe may help us to see how serious what we are going to talk about is. On Friday, I was doing assessment and I went to one of the facilities or hospitals around. I will not say which one. So I talked to one of the students who are there, and I asked a question about what was the lowest moment, what was the highest moment, apart from the other things I was looking out for. So the student was very happy and shared experiences about the good things. But about the lowest moment of this student, or what the student experienced, was where there was a case of a child who was brought to the facility, the hospital, and this child had been abused by someone who cheated. This actually is a boy who cheated the boy that he was called Uncle Pepe. Pepe. That was not the real name. That is just one case. But there are a lot of things that are going on which may touch on parenting that end up affecting children. So I just thought it's good to talk about that. And then the other thing, I was also in another forum the same week where they were talking about child safeguarding and how much even the government spends in that area. was very, very saddening to realize that it was less than 1% of GDP. If the research got it right, and if I remember well what they said, less than 1%. And what I know is where your priorities are, how you budget. If your budget is so much when it comes to clothing, then that is where your priority is. If it is about school fees, then your priority is education. If it is about family gatherings and such things, so the government is requested or asked to do more in that area. According to what the research was showing, there were many people, various stakeholders who took up, and we hope that will work. So I'm just trying to show that children are suffering, children are not maybe considered very well, and some of the people, some of the stakeholders are us, me and you as parents. So let's quickly just go through this. As I go through positive parenting behavior, I will take us through the outline of what I'm going to do. One, we will just quickly look at our understanding of, or I will take us through just to break down the understanding of parenting issues that are there, real, some of the things we are experiencing around. Oh, I had said we come back. I hope I said, maybe I didn't forget. I can see some people are still sitting like that, because you'll be straining the neck. Where I work, we have physiotherapists. They usually are very careful about how you sit, how you... So just organize yourself so that you don't strain your neck. Yeah. Sorry for what not heard earlier. Okay. So my outline, what I am going to capture mostly is about how, or maybe just to point to these parenting issues, trying to understand parenting issues, and then we will have a discussion, panel discussion, which will focus on 3 areas. There are questions that they will help us to handle that will be coming in terms of the responsibilities and duties and responsibilities, discipline, freedom, balance, and then parenting through stages. And these are very important things. I think even if you look around, those who are interested in matters, children and social development, they focus so much on these things. The last thing will be parenting models. Because I am a scholar, I decided to fix in something like that, but I will not tire you for those who may not like it so much, but you'll see it is interesting. I took more than 5 hours preparing this, so as much as it looks very simple. Yeah, thank you. So let's move on. So there's a quote. I don't know whether you agree with this or not, but as we go through, as we discuss, maybe not at this moment, let me not engage you at this moment, but the best inheritance a parent can give his children is a few minutes of his time each day. I think this is not easy. It's easy to say and read, but it's not easy to do because of the kind of life we are living. Some people are doing 2, 3 jobs or businesses, and still you are struggling, and you wonder. I used to think I'm the only one who is not organized, but life is very, very difficult and very challenging. I don't know, maybe there's someone who can relate with what I'm saying, but this is the best inheritance. So, just quickly to tell us what positive parenting behavior is. Positive parenting behavior. This is, it's not good to define words using the same words, but that is what is appearing here. But I'll narrow down to disciplining, praise, warmth, and nurturing. Disciplining, praise, warmth, and nurturing. When you are taking care of your children, when, as a parent, as I said, I cannot talk about parents without children, or children like that. This is how we should understand what behavior, positive parenting behavior is. The behavior, positive behavior, parenting behavior refers to parenting and that promotes positive parent-child relationship. How a parent relates with the child And those are centering or focusing on disciplining, praising, warmth, and nurturing. That is what WHO says. So, I had just mentioned a few things, but quickly I would also tell us something that there is evidence. Evidence means is research, evidence-based. Research is telling us or informing us that around the globe, in the world we are living in, even in Kenya, there's a lot, parents, there's a strong evidence across the globe which is showing that parents, caregivers, and in this case maybe permanent caregivers, a supportive home environment are very important. I think even when we were being taken through, those who are doing the worship and the prayer, I had this coming out very good, very clearly that family is very critical as a unit. Children are part of the family. Parents are part of the family. So family is usually the one that can determine or can affect the well-being of a child, depending on which dimensions you are looking at in terms of the well-being of a child. So the family environment, or maybe the caregivers, the parents and all that, play a big role. So this is something that is not just us talking about it, maybe even from a biblical perspective or Christian perspective or personal, but even the government has taken this up and has recognized and is doing something, as much as I already started by saying the funding is a bit low. So if you look at the Constitution, for those who are, their area is this, the Constitution, the laws and all that. A family is a natural and fundamental unit of society. Very important, very critical. Then within the Constitution, there are many articles, but one of them, like 53, is the one that provides that a child has a right, constitutional right. When you take care of a child, you are not doing them a favor. It is their right, if you look at it from this perspective. So, understanding parenting issues. There are many issues that touch on parenting, and there are many issues that are about children and their environment. Yeah, so, going on to understanding parenting issues. Parenting issues, for us to be effective and positive about what you do in terms of parenting, it's good to understand what are these issues and how do we come in. So for us to be effective, to be positive, as parents, we have to be effective in terms of the strategies we use. Are we using godly strategies? Which kind of strategies are we using as we do that? Improving communication. Communication is an issue that affects how we parent and how children benefit from our parenting services. So communication, the strategies we use, especially when it comes to needs, the unique needs of a child, and then our care and self-care and our status or well-being. If you are stressed, if you are anxious, of course these are, from a mental health perspective, these are big words, but how we understand it, like how people understand it generally, stressful situations, anxieties on your part as a parent or a caregiver can really affect child well-being outcomes. So sometimes you may think you are doing your best, yet what you go through at the office, business-wise, it's really draining you. I talked to a medical social worker somewhere in a facility who was telling me there's a time she was so depressed, and she realized when one day she went home, she didn't want to talk to anyone, not the husband, not the children. Then when talking to the children, she would even shout at them and use those words. Yes, those ones. I don't want to mention because of where I'm standing, but you have them in your mind, yeah? How parents can oh, you have not thought about, not use, other people usually use. Okay, so communication can be an issue. Stress, your well-being or your situation, mental status or stability can affect child well-being outcomes. And then discipline issues. Some of these things have come out, and we hear a lot when we interact with the children, either on their part or because of the parents. Yeah. So discipline issues. So techniques you use in disciplining and then navigating co-parenting challenges, because sometimes you find co-parenting has to come in. So how do you handle that? It's not easy. As I said, sometimes saying is easier than doing, but the reality when it comes to parenting issues, those are the issues, the challenges around or navigating co-parenting, and even just developing a healthy communication between you and the other one, and then gaining tools for support, and how do you support yourselves, maybe even within a home setup or other places, so that it helps you to take care of the needs of the child in a good way. So I want us now to have the panel, but before then, I don't know if someone can just quickly read, I don't know whether you can read for us Proverbs 29:17. Proverbs 29:17. I know people will go home saying, this one was just teaching. He even didn't read even a verse. One can read it. This is the difference between a pastor. A teacher will always involve you. Even when they want to talk alone, they will always give you something to do. Proverbs 29:17. You would like to read?
Proverbs 29:17. Train your son, and he will give you peace. He will bring delight to your soul.
Thank you. I read that one and I wondered. So if you discipline, and maybe it's talking about the son, but it may refer even just to children. If you discipline a child as they go on, as they grow, most of the people who are disturbing you, maybe not me, are people maybe who have that problem because it stems from either parenting or the environment. Not only parenting, because there are other factors, but parenting is one of them. As we have said, family is very important. But I know there are other factors. There could be peers and all that. So don't feel like you're blaming yourself, or you feel like, I'm talking a lot about you. Yeah, so now we can go through the panel, and we can have our, maybe you can just bring up the outline of the questions. Oh, we already have them here. Yeah, so I can call them, they know themselves, Bwana Edgar and Betty. Yeah, so and then I'll also be there. So as I said earlier, if I disappoint you, those who are in communication, this is not your time for judging. Even the Bible says you should not judge. Maybe you can sit. Do not judge. Thank you. So very clever, so that you don't say I'm the one who said these things. These are the ones who are going to say the things. So there is no way you will blame me. Yeah, so duties and responsibilities. But feel free, as they talk, maybe if there's one or two comments someone would like to weigh in, so that we learn from each other. Take it from me, there's no perfect parent, and there's no child who is looking for a perfect parent. All of us are just trying. I know the government is now keen on this, although they are not targeting so much you, because they assume you are good people, or you can manage everything. They're targeting maybe vulnerable families, those on the streets, but there's a training on parenting, positive parenting for that matter. So this is an area that people have realized is an area of interest to help children. Yeah, so maybe going to the interview, I think it's good to give them an opportunity to introduce themselves, each of them, and then now I start one by one. So if you don't mind, Bwana Edgar, can you tell them whether you are Edgar?
Thank you very much, Dr. Wilkins. My name is Edgar Mwakaba. Parent with
Okay, next. Thank you. Maybe before I ask them questions, maybe you are asking yourselves, only that you can't ask me. Because when I'm here, like the pastor, you don't ask them questions, but I'll tell you because you need this information. My child, one is, I hope I'll get it right. Sometimes I forget. He should be 11, I think. And then the other one is 8. That one I remember because she even wanted to move to the next class, and her birthday was just recently. Then the small one is 5, almost getting to 6. So you can see I don't have a lot of experience, but we can share and help each other. Yes. So let's hear from Bwana Edgar. Uh, what responsibilities do fathers and mothers share in raising children? Of course, specifically you can, if you would like, maybe from your experience as a parent, or from your experience, maybe your neighbors or in your family where you were born, the father and the mother, the responsibilities, and you can, if you don't mind, just give some of the positive examples you have seen, fathers, what they do in raising their children, and also mothers. So it's like your question is on both mother and father and the positive aspects. They are also negative, but maybe those ones leave them to come from here. You talk about the positive. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So, in terms of parenting, one of the things I want to probably, the most important, probably the parents is guide. Very important. Well-being. Word of God. And also that of done by copy, by habits, copy habits, good habits, encouraging them. And yes, we every time coming back and just encouraging yourself.
Thank you very much. That's the good thing, to ask people questions when they are in the presence of the Lord, because they will say the truth to set them free. Yeah, so maybe not specifically to Edgar and maybe his family, but I was just wondering, and that is not for him to answer, maybe just for us to think about. How does it look like? For example, that time you are not in good terms, or maybe there's just something like a conflict somewhere, and still you have to show the children you love your wife, or well, that, yes, the way we are thinking about it, but let us not answer it, but I think it could be a challenge. Yes, next. But if someone has a comment on how they go around it, they can tell us so that we also learn. Yes, Betty, if you don't mind, oh, sorry, Edgar, there's a question you were to respond to, specifically how now children help their parents build a happy home. Just quickly, I know our time is really gone, has really gone, but Pastor sometimes usually requests you to give him more time. Like, well, we will know as time goes by.
Okay.
Yes.
So, just very briefly, my analysis of the question led me to the conclusion that as you do all those things, then you will find that your children cooperate with you more in the whole journey of bringing them up. Cooperative children it's a blessing to have children who, when you tell them to do something, they do it. Do our children do that 100% of the time? No, because you'll find in a family where there are continue to just train our kids, provide for them, and nurture them. The hope is that they will also cooperate with us and see things that we're doing are for their benefit and be obedient, so that obedience is not just me demanding and saying, you must do what I'm telling you because I'm telling you, but it must come from a place of where they have seen it modeled in me first, and then they have that understanding to know that, yes, I should do this because it is beneficial to all of us as a family unit. One of the things I like about my wife is the culture she has cultivated in our family, that we are a team. We are a team doing life as a team. So when it's your turn to wash the dishes, it's not we are punishing you. No, you are washing dishes because you're part of the team, and tomorrow it will be another team member who will be washing the dishes while another team member is maybe doing the laundry or helping with the cooking. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the insights. For me, in my home, I'm the one who usually makes the final decisions. But usually, when, for example, I find that my wife has taken up a case, I don't come in to say now it's me to conclude this matter. So that also children, because I always, even if I don't tell them, so that they know there is no lesser parent. This one is, and I like the idea of teamwork, because you see, it's not the responsibility of only the father, even if that's maybe how someone may want to look at it, that discipline, then leave it to the father. But you cannot wait, and for example, maybe someone has traveled, you're waiting, you're taking notes. Please, let's not take notes. Yes. Let's go to, well, I'm saying the notes of the mistakes the children have done, maybe made, and then now you wait for the father to come. That may end up spoiling the whole thing. On discipline and freedom balance. I think this is Anne's question. Freedom and discipline and freedom. Yes, so you may have noticed if they are sharing the slides, there are some verses there. Because of time, we may not be able to read those, but those are some of the verses that I think can help us on those areas. Yeah, so maybe Anne, we would like to tell you to tell us how often you notice children do something right. When they do something right, do you notice? How often do you do that? Do you forget sometime? You know, sometimes as we say in life, you may know the right thing to do, but you remember maybe the following day I was supposed to comment yesterday. So right or wrong? And then according to whose standards are they? The child, I know for us who are in the area of child safeguarding and protection, we talk about the best interest of the child, which is very important, and many other aspects, or participation for that matter. Yes, maybe you can just tell us something on that a bit. And then maybe let me give you all of them. The last one is on the models. If you know the role models or the models of your child, or those who act as role models in your child's life generally. So before you respond, because you know, they shouldn't know that the microphone is not working, but yes, because it's only 1 minute to time, I would request for, can I say 10? I hope 10 is not, yeah, if my panel is supporting 10 minutes, please, so that we finish this, because it's an important exercise. Yeah, so we can hear from Anne. I hope you remember the questions.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Quick learners.
Thank you. I'll try to keep the answers short. Discipline. To be very honest, sometimes we tend to notice the wrong more than the right. And I have also fallen victim to that until one day, I think one of my kids told me, I'm always complaining, that I always point out the wrong and not the right. So these days I try to find a balance and just appreciate, especially if there are things that we've been struggling with, things like timekeeping. We struggle with timekeeping. So the day when finally somebody has made time, you're like, hey, you've done very well today, you showered on time, you finished your homework on time, well done, good job. And I think it's just human nature. But I've also found there's also a correlation between your stress levels and that thing of picking the not so good things. If you're very stressed, you'll also only see the bad things. So I also try to check myself before I enter the house, after I was told I'm always complaining. And then the other thing around discipline, sometimes there are things that you see that come up. It could be you're having a conversation and then somebody talks back, like on the spur of the moment things, and then you quickly point out, hey, next time don't tell me that. Or sometimes I'm like, you know, I'm not your friends in the field where you talk like that and then you come talk to me like that. We need to have balance. And then the other things which I think are found to be like systemic. I think 2023 we were struggling a bit with discipline. And they couldn't figure out what was happening. One of the kids he was, no, I've already said he, I only have to. Okay, I'm sorry. But there was a lot of anger and discipline issues. I couldn't figure it out. So I went all the way to school, spoke with the teachers, and they found out there was a bit of bullying happening. And as much as I tried to resolve it with the school, it wasn't working out. So we shifted schools. And when we shifted, you could immediately see, like, personalities even changing. Somebody, like the young man kind of just reset. So sometimes also good to understand what are the underplaying things that influence discipline, not always take things on face value. Yeah? It's good to just investigate and see what's happening. Role models, for me, I would typically say it's around family. because we spend a lot of time with our family, like cousins, uncles, and things like that. So it's, and aunties, so it's typically those guys. Then I've also found something that has worked for me. When you go to a school, let me put it, when you go to school or your kid's school, sometimes you'll meet, if you, okay, when you're fortunate enough, you'll meet good teachers, and there are teachers who you will kind of request to work with your kids. You're like, please keep an eye on so and so. If there's anything, if they're not happy or there is something happening with them, please let me know. And you'll find those people they'll even call you and tell you, today I saw your daughter or child, they were going through something, or they were happy or they were sad, and they'll let you know. So it kind of just helps to keep tabs in the communities in which they operate on different people, their friends, the all, and the trusted adults who you can touch base with every so often, just to make sure your kids are okay. I think those are the key things that have stood out for me. Yeah, but it's not perfect. It's very difficult, because sometimes you'll find yourself resetting to old habits, and then you're like, hey, hata unakasirikia nini sasa? Then you're like, anyway, there's nothing, and then you kind of just go back to the notes and like, okay, I'm trying to be more optimistic and more positive. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So if something comes up, we'll come back to you, but let's hear from Betty. Parenting through various stages. I read somewhere, and looking at some of the models I've put, which I don't think we will have time to look at, but this document can be shared. Parenting, you also learn, you grow with the children. When they get to a certain age, you realize, oh, by the way, I need to maybe adjust a bit, not to be very harsh, or to be a bit harsh, or I don't know, that kind of thing. So maybe you can share a little bit on how you respond to your child's development, and how you are growing, or you have grown as a parent, or what you have seen, maybe other parents, maybe any experience you are willing and it's comfortable for you to share. And then what are the roles you have as a parent as children develop and go through various stages? Is there something you need to do differently? Anything you would like to share about that, kindly?
Okay, parenting through different stages. I'll start with the teenagers. As all of us know, the teenagers, how teenagers can be, the adolescents, they tend to withdraw. So what I've learned is constantly talking to them. You constantly monitor. I monitor, I talk, I've learned to talk a lot. I'm not a person who talks a lot, but through these children, they have taught me to talk. Sometimes they complain that I talk a lot, I should keep quiet. And also, I try to, I've said, monitor the gadgets, monitor what they watch, their friends, their company, the companies that they keep. You try to talk to them constantly. The young adult needs freedom, and I try to delegate my responsibilities in the house. We share. She co-parents also, so she can take the child to school sometimes. She can sign the diary. So I try to, as much as possible, to get the children involved also in the affairs of the house. Every time, from way back in primary, we usually have, where I work in a school, we usually have the value of the term. So when at school we have that value of the term goes for 3-4 months. That is the same value we'll do in the house. If it's about responsibility, we'll all try to work around that. If it is about respect, we'll be respectful. If it is about accountability, we'll be accountable to each other. What I've learned, there's a time I was with my friend, then she told me, oh, I saw so and so, one of my daughters. She's in TikTok, she's dancing. I didn't know about anything about TikTok. So I had to, to find a way to get into TikTok and just to monitor and advise her more on the content that she can be posting. She's a dancer, she likes dancing. And this daughter of mine, she's also very outspoken. If you get to, unlike the first one is a very intro kabisa. This other one, she's loud, uko juu. She's one person you cannot kanyagililia there. She'll tell you off. She'll tell you off. So there was an incident at school, an indiscipline case. I was called to go to school. From the primary she was coming from, we teach children how to just communicate, to express themselves. So she goes into a school, sorry to say, a public school. There, the prefects have they're like the two small gods. So she's like challenging the prefect. So I'm called. This is an indiscipline case. I go there. So she had written a letter, blah, blah, blah. The teacher explains. I talked to my child one-on-one. She's like, she was forced to write. She was not let to express herself. So I go back to the teacher. The teacher finds out the teacher there was some miscommunication. But apparently the child had a role to play. It was like she was the leader of some gang. They were disrespecting the prefect, looking down on her. So I had to reprimand. In as much as the teacher had the mistake, the child had to learn that she can to respect authority. Because after all, this is a prefect, she's been put there, she's an authority. She has to learn how to respect and how to just to follow instructions. In as much as the prefect is wrong, she has to learn. And also the area of freedom for the young adult. Sometimes you just let them be, so long as there is boundary and there is respect, because someone can't. One rule I've put in my place is I can't come back earlier than you. Whether you are coming from school, because there is no school that goes out after 9. So you can't, I'm not the one who should be opening the door for you. I'm that traditional. And also there's a case. We divide ourselves in the house. This one is doing what? This one is cooking. This one is washing dishes. This one is doing what? So long as my sink sleeps clean, I have no issue. By the time I'm waking up, I'm a morning person. By the time I'm waking up in the morning, my sink should be clean. So this guy decides he won't wash. By the time I'm going to sleep, they're just there watching. By the time I'm going to sleep, over the holidays, past 10, past 11, the dishes are still in the sink. He's like, you just go to sleep, I'll wash. Kwani ni nini? I time them. They have switched off the TV, the lights are off. I time when they are fast asleep. I give them an hour. Sazile usingizi kameshika kabisa. That is the time I wake them up to go and clear the sink. I don't care the time if it is at 3 a.m. So the following day, he'll not repeat such a thing again. So that is one way of trying to just grow with them. So I've just learned to communicate. Communication is very important. To communicate with these guys, we discuss. I don't order, so long as we have that discussion and we agree. Yeah, and also engage the teachers more, because they spend time with the teachers, the ones in school, primary and high school, to engage the teachers more. Because there are some things the teacher might be knowing that I don't know, so I befriend the teachers. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you for the insights. I think what I'm picking from you is maybe just remembering when our children were born, then they are learning how to take food. I know kitambo they used to chew for you, then but nowadays now blend. You need to blend them. Those. Sorry. Sorry for going or being very insensitive, yeah? For people who identify with that. So what I wanted to say, what I get from her, although she didn't say that directly, is a child, just like I was giving my example, we used to give the child very soft food. Then I discovered this guy will never eat hard food. Then I came in and said, I think we try so that, because you cannot be giving soft food forever. I think even there's a verse in the Bible that talks something like that. I can't remember it very well. So what I'm getting from her is, as someone is growing, going through different stages, you change tactic, you learn new ways. Of course, what worked for her may not really work for you, because even children are different. But I think I support her on the aspect of, even if it's a friend, it is not fair. Someone who is paying rent comes first, akufungulie mlango. It is not fair. ama mtoto, yani you are the one paying and you are the one who is like a prisoner. It is not fair, even if they are not a child. Just by thinking without thinking a lot. Yes. Yes. I think we've discussed many things. Because of time, I had asked 10 minutes, but the 10 minutes are over. I would just give 1 or 2 questions or comments from them, and then I summarize, I finish up the remaining part. But I think one thing that I just wanted to say, which I have heard from the children, sometimes when you give a promise, make sure you fulfill. There's a time my son used to pray for a bicycle, and this thing disturbed me for many years. And I decided one day I'll buy a bicycle, not the one he wanted, a good one. And I kept working towards that. And even when I was a child, I promised my parents, one day you will fly in the air because of me. And I did that. And when they came and I was talking to them, they remembered, my mother remembered the labor she was in when I was getting born. And my father remembered. They could remember it as yesterday. So please, when we say promises, we give promises to children because maybe they also have promises. So if you teach them not to respect those promises, later on they may take it for granted. So just 1 or 2 comments quickly or questions, and then I release them. Yes. Do you have another mic? Maybe you... Oh. Yeah, just 2, and then you morning. And someone else are ready, so that we balance. Yes.
Oh, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Again, I'm Frank. Yes, I'm a teacher trainee, by the way. So I basically meet these learners in school. So first, I have a question on an issue on the part of responsibilities from the parents. 80% of parents in Kenya today, you parents, do not take that responsibility of teaching your children on aspects sexuality. Looking at CBC on how it's delegated, there are some aspects of PCIs, which are generally the things that affect the learners in the real life situations. One of the major aspects is sexuality. You'll find you parents, sijui mnaonaga kaa ni uoga, amtaki kufunza watoto wenyu on the aspects of how you should relate with each other. Maybe you have kids who are girls and who are boys. You do not take that responsibility of teaching them on how to relate with the other gender. Where, for example, maybe looking at what you've said is positive, you've not checked on what you parents do negative. We are all humans and we are not perfect. There are some aspects we tend to fall in the daily activities of life. Where, for example, looking at the places like Kibra, you find those parents, maybe the husband beats the wife, and they have a boy child in their family. So the boy child tends to see the father beating the wife every time, each and every time, and they fail to bring it out to them, which on the reasons on why they're beating which is not good, not saying it's good. When you look at it that way, you'll find this child as he grows, he'll have that hate towards the female gender, where, for example, the dad is beating the wife, then the dad again comes and tells the child, you see, your mother does this, you see, your mother is bad, because of this and this. So that whatever grows throughout the mind of the child psychologically is that ladies are bad, which later in life, the life you are living right now, you've heard about the queer community. So the act of that child hating the ladies will affect the relationship between him and other ladies throughout the society, which will lead to, maybe for example, heading to the direction of the queer community where they tend to, like I see men are good, I've not heard anything bad about women, about men, hence leading to them going to other direction, which I think parents should take that responsibility in bringing that aspect of sexuality to mold your children in whatever you want them to become, to bring that balance so that the children should not have that identity crisis of who they are as maybe men or maybe girls. The other question is on part B, discipline. You'll find, for example, the lady in, I've forgotten your name.
Betty.
Yes, Betty, Madam Betty. You have a 21-year-old, you have the other one is 16 and the other one? 13. You'll find, like, let me use myself as an example. Mimi nilikuwa napigiwa makosa ya ndugu yangu mdogo. Nimekaa tu hapo sitting room, mtoto anaenda kitchen anafanya mambo yake, and then mimi nakuja napigwa juu mtoto ameangusha kikombe huko. So unapata mimi kama brother yake naenda kumchukia. So that aspect of you punishing your child because of the mistakes of the other child, which is not right, will tend to bring that hate between the two brothers or the sister so that feud between them will distort the relationship between them in the family and also the people around outside the family. So, as she said, you should first or investigate on what, usikuje tu kama umepiga mtoto juu ati huyo mwingine amefanya vitu zake. So you should first investigate on what is happening throughout the family so that you can use the appropriate discipline measures to discipline the children. And then lastly, the next time when wana daktari, you should involve or you should put a child or a Gen Z, acha niseme Gen Z, as part of the panel so that we could hear from the perspective of the child or the young man or young woman, because si tumesikia your side of the story. And kuna this quote inasemaga, children may become more knowledgeable than the parents, but can never be better than the parents. Si tunasoma sana, tunaona vitu mingi sana, ndio unapata you as parents mnasema why should we do that, because maybe unaniambia nidanganye on your behalf, mimi nakwambia mbona nikudanganyie, and then nikikwambia hivyo unanipiga kofi, unaniambia sikiza bwana, sikiza, which is not right. So next time at least include that aspect so that we could have inclusivity. Ndio maana unaona majenzi tunaandamana huku nje juu amtaki kutusikia. Thank you.
Sir, thank you. I thought it's good to balance. We give one lady, but please be very brief so that I'm able. I'll just scroll through. I know it's already past time, but I think what I got from what you are saying is there's also the other side. Although my concentration was more, the scope was more on the positive, and I threatened them from the beginning, telling them just say the good things, and the bad things can come from this side. But as you are saying, we should not just look at the positive aspects, but there are also things that even the parents do that maybe provoke the children. Yeah, so it's because of also time. If I would have brought in all those, it would not be, maybe we wouldn't finish very in good time. And then you touched on something that I also thought of, but I decided let me leave it a bit on gender sensitive parenting, so that how you are parenting the girl, the boy, and those issues you are saying, where there is abuse, there is something that the child learns. Although he said children learn by seeing what you do. So just a quick one from a lady, if possible, this side or anywhere, but be very, very, very brief so that to see.
Check. If there's none, I'm not a lady, but I have a question.
Yes.
On terms of discipline, is there a line to show this is extreme and this is not? For my case, I think I've been brought up in a home where we are many, so tuko watoto wengi. So I think maybe the parents had to be extra on the discipline, but I think also we came to be afraid of them. My dad will come, let's say we have not seen him the whole day, but instead of going to help him carry things, we will run. Because tumezoea, we know when dad is home or when mom is around, we have to be quiet, we have to settle down. So maybe some parents don't hit their children, but there may be ways that the kids may see this as extreme and not extreme. So maybe you can tell us where the boundary is to extreme discipline and the normal one.
Maybe we can hear from the panel, whoever can summarize that in a quick way so that I finish the remaining part. I don't know who would like to respond in terms of the balancing. I think from the beginning we said it is not easy. Parenting, we are learning as we grow. How do you draw the line? Oh, okay. Thank you, Pastor Maureen.
I think there's a difference between discipline and punishment. Discipline is more, we have agreed on certain rules and the outcomes if you break those rules. So you expect it even as a child. But punishment comes from a place of anger, frustration, hata tuja disagree. Most of the times it's from a place of anger. So sometimes as parents we fall into punishment more than discipline. And discipline does not have to involve even beating or kiboko. There are many ways of disciplining a child, because discipline is more about training. But I think we fall into the trap of punishment. When you are angry, unatandika vizuri, which is not good.
Thank you. So if I were you, I would be appreciating only that I had not told you. We have really concluded well with the panel, so you can appreciate them as they go. Thank you. Yeah, so thank you also for being patient and helping us just being able to go through. So as I said, I'll just scroll, whoever is helping me on the slides will scroll through, and some of those things have already been discussed. It will not take more than 3 minutes. So just scroll to the next slide. We will share with them so they will have them. You can just go to the next slide so that it's not this one. Next. The one that has yes, that one. So when I did my research, I told you I took more than 5 hours just to summarize this thing so that I can capture it or cover it within less than an hour. So when you do parenting, there is the parent who has some warmth, parental warmth, and then strictness. And maybe it's touching on the question you asked. Go to the next. So this is just one of the models of parenting. Yes. So when you look at that, the warmth or parental warmth, it has a number of items listed there, which I will not go through, but it touches on communication, it touches on affection and all those. A warm parent, there is how they approach their parenting. We go to the next slide, please. And then the strictness, yes, parental strictness. So those who are strict, there is how they go about it. So there is control and supervision, behavior, establishing norms and all those demands. You are demanding, you are, physical, you can even be emotional, verbal. Some people can even say, without knowing, when they are talking to children, they talk to them in a bad way. but children wanavumilia tu. Next, summary. Summary, just scroll. So in summary, those the two models I've talked about, whether strict or warm, they have been summarized. Research shows either you are authoritarian, you are authoritative, indulgent, or neglectful. So it's you to choose how you would like to go about it. Well, for me, sometimes a child may expect punishment. But when I get in and I'm trying to solve or to settle the case, I don't punish. Then they wonder, oh, I thought. So you can use various strategies. There's no it's not very direct or very, very clear. Yeah, so next, the last one. Yeah, so there's some, oh no, sorry, So there's someone who came up with these stages and said parenthood, like what Betty was taking us through. It's also in research. There are people who are saying or who are thinking that parenting, you go through stages, you grow as a parent. You may have attended some meetings of horror where people are talking about parenting, but that alone may not make you a good parent. So you keep on learning. And having children, like I have small ones, there's another one even who has children, they are no longer even children because they are past 18. They're adults or young adults. So you go through stages and you keep learning, and you can learn from one another. So in conclusion says that discipline properly measured and administered teaches a child to avoid wrongdoing and do what pleases God and also his parents. Proverbs, the verses are there. And then parents must not leave the responsibility, and that is what Frank was saying. Don't leave the responsibility to the classroom teacher, quest, all those, be there and follow through. Yeah, so it's futile and dangerous to wait until, and this one is what we read, it's futile, it's useless and dangerous to wait until a son or daughter is a teenager to attempt to guide their moral path. But if they can get maybe a small kind of assistance now that you didn't know, you can try. But samaki mkunje, angali mbichi. Where I come from, you can just go to the last references are there, and then the last one. Yeah, so that you know scholarly work, you have to say where you got it. There's a very good book, by the way, The Family Life of a Christian Leader. I was given, and I was very happy. I'm reading it, almost finishing. I got a lot of points from it. For those who have it and are not reading it, how I encourage you to read it. I was not told by pastor to talk about this. This is just mine. And the last one, thank you. So my parting shot, samaki mukunje angali beach. And the last one is the Proverbs 29:17. What was it saying? It talked about a son, but let's just say a child. This is the time. There are those who say the right time was 20 years ago, but the other right time is now. So let's try in our way, but the best would be if we pray and God helps us. And this is where now I pray as we conclude. So let's stand and believe so that I can pray. Sorry, I know I've taken a lot of your time, but I hope you didn't bored. Yeah, so let's believe in. Before we pray, maybe Pasi, you want to say something? Sorry, I think what is disturbing my mind is time, but let me not ignore that Pasi is here, so that, yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.